Yeah, guys, congratulations on the win, on turning this game around. I want to know what the message was from Mikel Arteta at half-time, because it was such an electric start to that second half.
Yeah, I think the team did great today, to come here and they played the way we played is amazing, not just because of the result. Of course, the most important thing is the 3 points, and we did it. But the most important thing, I think, was the way we react, to come back here against a tough opponent is always difficult, and we did it.
What a hit from you, Gabriel, as well. How important was the timing of your goal? Because it came just a couple of minutes after you went in front, just to give you that cushion of a lead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always expecting the ball there to appear to me to score, so I was a bit lucky in that moment. The ball was just in front of me. I just controlled and tried to put it in. And yeah, really happy with the performance.
And we saw your celebration. You had an Arsenal scarf around your neck. Does that just show how important every single win feels in this title race to these Arsenal fans?
Yeah, I mean, the support that they give us is amazing. We just want to say thank you for them to come here and support us the way that they did. And yeah, we are really happy with the results.
Gabriel, 6 goals in 4 games for you. That's as many as you scored in your previous 48 Arsenal games. What's been the key to this turnaround in form?
I think keep working, everyone at the club can tell you guys how I work every day, Not just me, everyone. But me personally, I don't give up, I always try. Obviously, it's not easy, to play for a big club like Arsenal. But like I said, I was playing good when I had the chance, but I was scoring, But now I think I can score, and then I could score, and then yeah, I'm very happy, and I want to keep scoring to help the team.
You've only got half a shirt left, so I'm glad you've got your jacket on. What happened there?
Yeah, that's it. That's Premier League, I don't want to talk about like fouls and stuff, but as you can see, and then the ref give a foul. I made the foul. How is possible? But it's okay. He'll be there always to try to fight for the ball and then fight for this huge club.
Without Saka in this team, is there a feeling amongst all of you attackers that you all need to chip in and raise your game as you try and replace his goals and creativity?
Yeah, I mean, I think no one can replace him. He's one of the best players in the world, but we know our potential and we know the team that we have. And yeah, we trust in ourselves, and we are going to try our best for the club and for B as well. I'm sure he's happy with the results.
You know what it takes to win a title, Gabriel? Does this team have what it takes?
Yeah, for sure. The previous 2 years was amazing. Obviously we didn't win the league, but we was there fighting. And then to play in this competition is already hard. Imagine to fight for the title, like you say, I have been there. But as I can see, this team is spreading now, everyone is a good player, amazing player. And then I'm sure we can go there and fight for the title, but it's still early, we just need to keep trying to play well and then keep winning the game. That's it.
Well done, both of you. Congratulations on the victory to start the new year, and you are today's man of the match. Well done.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Yeah, 2 of Arsenal's Brazilians there playing a big part. It was a vital win in terms of keeping Arsenal in the title race conversation. And if you consider that Martinelli's got 3 goals in his last 4 away games and Jesus 6 in his last 4, people will be asking, do they need a striker now, Ian?
No, but I said at the start of the season, those 2 players who I'm really, really delighted to see are finding some form at a time where Arsenal need it the most. Are scoring goals now and are playing well and are contributing, because last season, I think, between them, they got 10 Premier League goals. And I think if they got 10 each, Arsenal maybe could have gone on to win the league. And I think that they've realised this season how important their contribution is going to be, and you just hope it can continue for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, if ever there is a time for consistency from both of them, this has to be it, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jules asked a question there, has everybody got to chip in without Saka being in? Of course they have. I mean, they don't score enough goals as it is, really. Well, they've not got enough players that score big amounts of goals. They tend to spread them around a little bit, and they're going to have to up their game from now on. And that started tonight. And it started, actually, for the last couple of weeks. Jesus has been banging them in lately, so that's good. And he'll argue, well, I can always score. It's just I've not been given a chance.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't blame him for thinking along those lines. But good for them today. Go away from home, score 3 goals, and keep the pressure on.
So what changed in the second half to make that win possible, Ian?
Well, I think you say what changed. I think that what I always find with Arsenal is, yes, they had a lot of possession in the first half, but when it's going at a certain pace and you're passing at a certain kind of tempo, teams like Brentford, who are deep, they get set. You know, we couldn't get anything in from the wings. We wasn't getting too much from the wings. They cut it off, and I thought we just passed it a lot quicker. The second half, moved it quicker, moved the ball sharper.
Yeah, it's funny. Whenever we watch Arsenal, actually on the show, we often talk about they're at their best when it's one-touch passing. Obviously, when they're catching the opposition out of position, is it easier said than done? Because surely the players are aware. They increase the tempo. They look more dangerous as a result.
Of course it is, but every team is doing things at speed in any walk of life is much more dangerous, much more happens when you do things fast. You know, you take more risk, you could give the ball away a lot more.
Yeah.
So certain teams like to play in more of a controlled way and not risk the ball too much and play a little bit slower. But we all know if you up the tempo, you've got more chance of scoring goals. And of course, every team, when they do that, they look a little bit more dangerous. Arsenal today, even though they went 1-0 down, they still had control of the game. They still had a lot of possession in that first half. And obviously getting back on level terms before half-time was absolutely key. You don't want to be going in at the interval down. And then once they had that momentum again, then you always fancied them to come out and nick it in the second half.
I think what happens as well, I think with Brentford's goal is typical as when you're not moving. When you're not making good movement for the person on the ball. And when I say passing it quicker, a lot of things have to happen in respect to parking it quicker. You have to have people making movement. You have to have movement either towards you, beyond you, so that you can pass it quick and then you can keep the ball moving. And I think that it didn't happen a lot in the first half. And in the second half, they just quickened it up a bit.
So 2 goals very soon into the second half. Put paid to the contest, really, in Arsenal's favour. Let's have a look at the first of them. Unsurprisingly, from a set piece, Ian.
Yeah, it was a good ball in. I think the goalkeeper was poor today. He made a couple of big mistakes, and I think this is another one. They know what's going to happen with Arsenal. They're going to put the ball in high, in and around him. There's a lot of bodies around him, but he's totally missed that. He's totally missed that. We know how much protection they get, so if he gets himself in a situation where he can get a hand on it, he probably gets a foul, but he's totally missed it. And Arsenal, with the amount of bodies that are in there, they've really taken advantage of that, and that's brilliant from Arsenal's point of view.
Well, I suppose that's part of the reason why they do that, isn't it? It's the chaos it causes in the box.
Yeah, and then most of the time now they're in swinging corners and they land it right on the goalkeeper. You saw there Saliba just putting the goalkeeper off. Enough not to be given a foul, but certainly enough as well to stop him coming and punching that first one, and then the second one he doesn't get enough on it. And they keep the pressure on. They've got big numbers. Look at all those bodies in the box. But they knock that ball right on the money every single time, whether it's Saka, previous to getting injured. Declan Rice is a very good corner taker. Whoever stands on that ball, they tend to knock it in a really dangerous place.
Yeah, Nwaneri playing his part there.
Yeah.
And I suppose, that's where he fits that profile of Saka with that left foot and playing on the right.
Well, what we've seen with him is his technical abilities, great pace. And again, one of the most difficult things to do, something I probably wouldn't be able to do, is take the corners and put them in a place.
Tell us more about it. I mean, that is a particular skill set, isn't it?
It is. I remember one time, I said to Arsene Wenger, can I take the corners? He said, no, you can't take them. Because to put it in to an area where you know that so much is riding on you, hitting the area, which I didn't realise at the time. I thought I would have been able to do it.
Yeah.
I tried a couple in court and I couldn't do it. Is such a difficult skill. So when you've got players, especially away from home, people baying, trying to put you off from putting in a good ball, and you still put the ball in an area where you're going to cause. But that's perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I couldn't do that.
Were you any good at them, Michael?
Nope. Nor would I want to be. I want to be in the box tapping from a
You want to be on the end of them.
Yeah, that's where I want to be where Marino is.
Isn't it incredible, though? You think that, but I mean, Gareth Southgate with England used to put Harry Kane used to take them for a period of time. You think he's our best player? He's 6'4".
Was it with? I'm sure that was a Gary Neville and Roy.
Yeah.
Was it? I'm sure, yeah. When we couldn't believe what was going on. That's when Iceland beat us, remember?
It was, yeah. Bit of a nadir, shall we say.
But that's brilliant. Nwaneri. Again, we're talking about a player who's coming into his debut. and him taking the corner and putting it into an area, we know how dangerous Arsenal are at corners, to put it into an area that has to be there, again, is just testament to him.
As it happened, Nwaneri then put the ball into the, I suppose, the danger area for 3-1, which was literally just, under 3 minutes later?
Yeah, exactly. He just chopped the ball back on his left foot and curled it into a really dangerous area. And Arsenal had bodies in the box, and it was actually a nice little bit of movement from Martinelli. He just sort of ghosted in, and his man, Norsgaard, just thought... Sorry, Damsgaard. He thought he was just going to almost run towards the corner of the six-yard box. We highlight it here. Here's the ball coming in with the left foot swinging in, and there we have it. And he just almost makes a move and ghosts in. Yeah. Almost a horizontal run there.
You saw that, Michael. It's like he checked for him twice, and then he tried to make the run to where he think he was going to be. Because I thought that ball in the first half wasn't working for Arsenal, but I think they got the ball to Nwaneri quicker, which I think was good. He was unable to take them on, but that, for me, is very composed, calm finish there.
Now, you'll see, actually, as the ball hits the back of the net, well, we will see now, Nathan Collins felt he was pushed. The Brentford players weren't particularly happy with the match officials here.
There. Was that it there?
Yeah.
I don't think that's enough for a big centre-half. I think he's got himself... Yes, you can see Marino's hands
hand on his back, wasn't
it? Yeah, but, I'll go back and be petty and talk about the Newcastle and Gabriel when they got his two hands on Gabriel's back.
Don't be petty now.
Yeah, I'm being petty.
No.
But I don't think a big centre-half should be looking for a free kick like that. I don't think it was a big enough push in that instance for him to get a foul for that.
Michael, for you?
Well, VAR would have a second look at it as well, and they didn't think it was a clear mistake. So, no, I agree. I didn't think it was a foul.
Yeah, but sometimes you two don't see eye to eye with VAR.
No, but that's what
we don't see eye to eye with defenders either.
No, we don't know. But at the same time, no, if there's something to disagree with, we will do. But in that instance there, I don't think that a defender defending his goal, which they did very well in the first half, should be pushed off the ball that easily.
Yeah. It happens vice versa all the time.
Of course,
defenders put their arms on strikers. You've got to accept that football is a contact sport. There will be little parts like that.
But the fact the second half started in that way, from Brentford perspective, conceding 2 goals in 3 minutes so early on, how much did that put the kind of, the wind out of their sails, so to speak?
Well, it's a disaster, isn't it? I mean, when Arsenal go 2 ahead, you're probably not going to get back into it, are you? And they're such a good side. So, yeah, all that team talk that we had a little bit of footage of at half-time and the rousing team talk that Thomas Frank gives his team, but all of a sudden, within 3 or 4 minutes, it's all out the window and, you're chasing a game and then you're probably making even more mistakes. So, yeah, that can happen in football, especially against a team as good as Arsenal.
I think, as well, Mick, I think what Mikel would have probably have said to the Arsenal side was, go out, start quicker, move quicker, see if we could get something in the first 5-10 minutes of the second half, because we know what they're capable of. We saw it in the first half. They're not in the game for 30 minutes, then bam, they score. Have a go at them and see if we can get something in that time, and then we can relax. And they did. They got it in the space of 5 minutes. They got 2 more goals and finished the game.
All right, let's get the post-match thoughts of the Arsenal head coach. Here's Mikel Arteta.
This is a difficult place to come, Mikel, so I'm sure this feels like a significant win for you tonight.
Yeah, it's a big win. They're a really good side, very well coached, and they've been exceptional at home. Especially when you go down very early in the game, becomes a mountain to climb, but the team was very patient, insisted a lot, and at the end we were rewarded.
And it is about winning games in different ways, isn't it? And you had to show some character tonight to respond to that early setback, because the goal came off the back of Arsenal pressure at the start.
Yes, it was, and we had to manage that situation emotionally. They create those moments, they are really good at that, they are really good at frustrating you. And we managed to do that as well. We lost some big players again today that they weren't fit for different reasons, and the team still competes very well.
Yeah, on that, where was Kai Havertz tonight? Was he not feeling himself?
He was sick. We had a few that weren't feeling great, so we have to make a few changes. But it doesn't matter. We bring whoever we bring. They are ready. They are ready to perform. We had Ethan making his debut in the Premier League as well, at 17 years old, and performing well. So it's a good day.
And actually, that period at the start of the second half felt quite key for your team to score those 2 goals in such quick succession to almost take the game away from Brentford.
Yeah, we started really well, and we took advantage of that. We're very clinical in the box, which against them you have to be, because they are really good in defending with a lot of density, those spaces. And then we'd probably have to step back a little bit as well for the way that they were building the game, but we looked okay.
And people are going to be talking about set pieces again, because there was more chaos caused by one.
Yeah, and it was good against this team as well. When they are defending so deep, you have to generate that chaos. One of the ways to score as well is set pieces. It was a really prolific way for us, and great to have that results.
Because you're not going to be with Bukayo Saka for a while, you've got 9 games, I think, in total in January. Is it about protecting the players over these next few weeks, managing those minutes?
Well, I'm more than protecting. I think it's pushing everybody, and understand where is that limit, and then take somebody else in that case. But everybody has to feel that they have a chance to play. Today we decided as well to leave Declan out because he had some niggles in the last few weeks. He comes in, he can impact the game, great, and in the next one, everybody's ready again.
And you're back within 6 points again of Liverpool at the top of the table. Do you feel like you need to be near perfect, if not perfect, in these next few months to be in with a chance?
We can only win our next match and see what happens. It's not in our hands at all. What is in our hands, let's make sure that we do it.
Happy New Year to you, Mikel.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chasing down Liverpool, and you were, keen to stress to me while we were watching the game unfold, Ian, that, you've been in the title race the last couple of seasons when Man City have been involved, right up until the last couple of weeks. You don't want to be falling out in January, because that becomes pretty dispiriting, right?
It does, yeah, especially with the fan base knowing that at the start of the season, for some reason, everybody's just saying it was going to be Arsenal that would be chasing down Manchester City. Obviously, no one knew what was going to come with Man City. No one saw that coming. But then Liverpool have taken up the reins, and they do look quite imperious at the minute. So, this team's experienced enough over the last 2 years, knowing what's needed. And I think that going into this game against the Brentford side, missing those players, Havertz and Rice and Saka, and going a goal down and still coming out on top, says that mentally they're a lot stronger and more up for the fight in respect of knowing what they have to do. Because I think 3 points today with Liverpool doing what they've done against West Ham and doing it so comfortably.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, right?
Doing it so comfortably.
Yeah, there was an element of comfort in the victory in the end, not like the Ipswich game, where it was a functional, resolute performance, but not the most convincing.
No, but this team, as Wright says, they've been the distance. OK, they've been 1 point short or been really close in previous years, but they've been the distance. They've done it before. They've gained that experience, and if they haven't, then obviously it's been pointless. But you rarely get a team that just comes from nowhere and goes and wins it. Even the Liverpool team, they've been there, seen it, done it. They've won everything there is to win, really. So Arsenal have served their time now. They know what a running is all about. I don't see them dropping away like, Chelsea have just drawn and lost. And I don't see them doing that. I think they're pretty experienced, pretty consistent now. They went through all of January, all of December unbeaten. We're now in January. They won the first game. I think they're going to put the pressure on. Whether Liverpool just keep going and going and going remains to be seen, but I don't think Arsenal are going to drop away.
And considering the stakes are so high, it makes that decision by Mikel Arteta to play a 17-year-old to fill the boots, and they're quite considerable boots, of Bukayo Saka. How did Nwaneri do for you?
No, he done very well today for me, and I think, there's a lot of talk when he made his debut, when he came on, when he was 15, and saying, why is he doing that to him? It's too much for him too early. But they've seen the promise and the capability of this young guy from many years now in Ireland. You can see how quick he is with the ball when he's dribbling with it. He's passing, his movement. He's got everything that you need, especially coming into a side where, Bukayo Saka, again, you see the pace, he just couldn't quite dig that one out. And this is for the goal, he's cut back inside. It's a nice ball into the area. I thought that they weren't giving him enough. This is brilliant skill here. I didn't think they were giving him enough ball in the first half, because he's somebody with that exuberance of youth that he just wants to play, like you mentioned, Mike. He's not bothered about what's going on. He just wants to do his thing and play. And that's what he done today. You saw him do it, and I thought that he was very effective today.
I loved his first touch. Everything. As soon as he got the first touch, he was looking to commit. He was looking to go forward. He's looking to be positive. And his natural step over the weight and his balance and his speed, he looks really talented. He looks like he's honed his skills over the years, and he just looks like, he's
ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Yeah, he looks ready to go, and that's interesting because, as a 17-year-old, he's had now that first taste of a Premier League start, played 77 minutes, and he'll be wanting to more of the same, so he's got to remain patient right now.
Well, absolutely.
What's that like?
But from now on, it's a mental thing. As I say, he looks like he's got the game. He's got a beautiful touch. He's got lovely speed. Everything looks very nice and natural to him. His balance and his height and everything. He just looks like a player. Now it's all mental. You're going to have bumps. You're going to be, dropped or rested or whatever. And that's the bit that you've got to sort of fight the way through and remain positive, and then you'll get your success, and you've got to keep your feet on the ground, and then you'll have another dip, and you've got to not get too low and keep your confidence. And the life of a professional footballer is so difficult. There's so many ups and downs, and from now on, I'd say it's much more mental than physical, because he looks like he's got so much ability.
Right, let's get some more post-match reaction on what was a big win in the end then for Arsenal, and so hear from one of their goal scorers, Mikel Marino, who joins us from the G-Tech. Mikel, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Was that the perfect start to 2025 then for Arsenal?
It was. Good evening to all of you. I think it's the best way to start this new year, hopefully with a lot of good news in the future. But obviously, we are really, really happy for the way the game has gone. Winning here in such a difficult place, starting with a goal against and being able to come back is just, it was great. And hopefully we can build up from here.
1-1 at half-time. Obviously, it meant for what was a huge second half in terms of the title race. Is that what was talked about in the dressing room from the manager?
Well, we talked about us. We talked about the game, what we needed to improve to score more goals, what we needed to keep doing well, because I think we did a lot of things well in the first half. But obviously, we are thinking just about the present, about us, about the little details, the small wins, as I say it. And when you focus on the small things, then the big things become easier. So just focus on ourselves, and that's what we did, and that's what gave us the win.
Mikel, it's Michael Owen. Well played today. I was just wondering, your set pieces have created a lot of headlines today. You scored from a set piece today. How much time and effort do you put into these on the training ground?
Yes, well, a lot to be honest. We train it a lot. I think it's something that is showing that in the modern game is really important. The amount of goals that you can score and the amount of points that you can earn through set pieces, and that's why we train a lot. And when you train it and you put all your effort and your mentality on it, it shows on games. And we are being a big threat in that, not only offensively but also defensively. I think we are a big team in that aspect. Hopefully we still have room for improvement.
A quick word on that celebration around the corner flag. We've seen that somewhere before.
Yeah, I think you saw it in the Euros. Yeah, it was the most famous moment. But yeah, it's something I've been doing for a while. My father was a footballer as well, and he used to do that celebration as well for my grandma, and in a way of trying to honor him and a show of respect for my father and how much I love him and how much I respect him. I do it, and that's the way I celebrate goals now.
Lovely touch.
And Mikel, it's Ian Wright here. I just wanted to ask you, Mikel, about the Liverpool and how hard it is to see how Liverpool are playing at the moment and not feel like you have to catch them. How hard is it to concentrate on just trying to get a job like today's done?
Yeah, sometimes can be hard. Not inside the club, but obviously in the news, and everybody's talking about the title race and how good they are performing and how far away they may be. But the reality is that we have to be focused on ourselves. That's the thing we have to do to try to win games. The things that happened away of that is something that we cannot control. So just focus on the things you can control, improve, try to work hard every single day to win every single game, and then whatever happens, just happen. But focus on you and good things will come for sure.
It's good to see you get your momentum back after that early season shoulder injury, Mikel. But tell me more about 17-year-old, and he makes us all feel old, by the way, Ethan Nwaneri making his first Premier League start. Looks a really exciting talent.
Yes, he is, absolutely. He is an unbelievable player, also a really, really nice guy, really shy, always keen to learn and try to listen to the more veteran players, the coach, whatever can make him a better player, he's always looking for. So yeah, not only him, but all the young kids that are training with us, maybe not playing, but in the training sessions you can see that the academy is a big thing in this club also. And yeah, they are such a good players at such a young age that is scary sometimes. I remember at 17 I was just a little kid, and these guys are playing against one of the best teams in Europe, in Champions League, in Premier League, and they don't care about it. They are not scared of the highlights, and they show it. So we have to take care of them because they have a bright future ahead of them. Sorry.
Yeah, great stuff. Listen, thanks so much for joining us this evening. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
Mikel Merino there, joining us from the G2 Stadium, one of the goal scorers, of course, for Arsenal today. It brings a bit of reassurance to that midfield, doesn't he? It's good to see him getting a run of games now, as I mentioned, after that shoulder injury.
Yeah, and the thing is, when he's come in, he's got to try and adapt to what Mikel wants to do. You know, it's very tactical, very meticulous how he wants everybody to move and how he wants them to play in the midfield. And he's obviously finding his feet in that respect. We know that he's got goals in him. And I think that as time goes by, he'll find his feet more and more. Obviously, we need goals from everywhere. So if we can get people like Merino into the box and scoring as well, that's going to help contribute to the goals that Arsenal so desperately need.
So let's have a look at the story of the first half, because, of course, Arsenal have had to pick up the win the hard way, falling behind despite being pretty much in control. They went 1-0 down through Brian and Burmo, and then this proved to be the turning point, right, Michael?
Well, obviously this would have been 2 if that crossed the line, and we'll just see here, it was very, very close, a matter of inches. David Raya making up for his mistake. This is the Hawkeye angle that we can see, so it wasn't far away, and this would have been a totally different game. But only 55 seconds until they go up the other end and do this. They kept the pressure on. They had a lot of people in and around the box here, but so did Brentford. They had a lot of opportunity to clear the ball, eventually dropped to Partey, who struck a great effort on target. And it was Jesus that was...
Jesus done well, you know. And that's what you want. You want your striker, if there's shots coming in, you know, to be in this kind of position, reacting for anything. That's where he should have pushed it. You can see the arrow there.
Yeah.
He didn't, and bang. That's what you want. That gets you back in the game. You know, and to be honest, I think Arsenal deserved that in the way the game was going with the possession and the dominance. And so that goal kind of just settled everything down.
Yeah. Not that you guys will have any sympathy, but it was a tough afternoon, really, for Mark.
Yeah, I mean, that was unopposed. I think that was a mistake. He probably should have pushed it wide. The corner, the set piece that Merino scored from, I feel for him a little bit more because he was under a lot of pressure there. But this has got to, I think he's got to.
It's almost his wrists rather his hands.
Maybe that's what's happening, but it's still poor keeping and poor technique.
Yeah.
And I think what Michael was going to say about the corner, you know, there's a little bit of hindrance, but he came and, you know, he's got to get something on that.
He's stronger.
He has to get something on that because, again, the goalkeepers get so much protection that you will definitely get something if there is a foul. Look, you see him there, he's missed the whole thing. You know what I mean? Yes, there's bodies around because there's a lot of bodies in there, Mike. You can see it here, look. There's bodies around, there it is there, but there it is. He's got enough time for him to be able to get the punch on that, and he's missed it.
Yeah.
And I'm quite pleased that he did.
I'm sure you are.
Studio, Tim Howard, Robbie Earle, Rebecca Lowe. Tim, that felt exactly the kind of victory Arsenal needed at this point right now.
Yep. I thought they were very good today, Arsenal, and sometimes being very good is taking your chances when you're on top of the game. We talked in the pregame about, yes, they look slick and they pass well, but sometimes it's not that that bite. Today they had that. When they were on top of the game, when they had chances. And by the way, some of them were half chances. Some of them were just sloppy chances that Brentford didn't clear. I didn't think Brentford were very good on the day. Arsenal took advantage of them. They put the game to bed, and it was easy in the end.
Especially with the changes that he made, and some that he had to, some he didn't have to. To come out with a 3-1 win, especially in the manner, going behind and then...
Absolutely. Don't know what was said at half-time. They were kept in the dressing room longer than Brentford, came out. Be interesting to hear what was said. This wasn't an Arsenal day of beautiful, creative football. It wasn't that day. It was beautifully controlled management in the second half. From the moment they went 2-1 and 3-1 up, the game was in no doubt. Brentford had one shot in the second half, no shots on target. They've tamed one of the best teams in the Premier League on their own ground and wasn't really in doubt. And that's important, that there's other ways of winning. We saw a difficult win against Ipswich. We've seen a controlled win again today. As players get back and they get the numbers and we have rotations, winning is the most important thing than winning in different ways.
It doesn't need to be beautiful, does it, Tim?
No, I don't think so. And, again, part of Arsenal it's the Arsenal way, so they want to entertain. I think Arteta has knocked that out of them a little bit and trying to get them to understand that you can be pragmatic at times. We still have some world-class footballers, and today was an example of that. They controlled tempo. They did look good on the ball, but when it needed to be ugly and they needed to stick the ball in the back of the net, they did it.
Where are you with the title race, Rob? Is it they're the only challengers to Liverpool, do you think?
I think so right now, Bex. And one thing we have to still go back to, and we should never overlook it. When they're in doubt, when they're in a little bit of trouble, they go to a set piece. And the set piece brings a confidence to this Arsenal team like no team we've seen. Because they believe the work that they do, it can get them a goal that can get them in the game, as it did today. And from the moment they got the goal from the corner kick, it was never a doubt.
Thomas Frank will be disappointed. What will he be most disappointed in?
Well, I think the manner of the goals. They never really gave themselves a chance to be in this game other than scoring the first goal. They didn't defend resolutely, which is what we know they do. They get the ball down, play on the counter. They couldn't clear their lines. I mean, as a baseline for this team, that's what we've seen, particularly at home. They put pressure on the other team because they can get at you. They didn't give themselves a chance because I thought defensively they were poor.
Having a little struggle, aren't they, right now?
They are. A little bit of inconsistency. They have that great home form, back-to-back home defeats now for them, which isn't the Brentford way. They were too easily tamed today, I would think, with a team that break quickly. They've got two forwards who can score goals. They never really, I thought, in the second half, gave Arsenal any real problems.
Let's take you to the field. You saw the interview getting ready and hear from Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus.
Without a win in 4 in the Premier League, Brentford, though, is it concerning that the last 2 home defeats, though, against Forest and Arsenal, Karen?
Well, no, look at where Forest and Arsenal are in the Premier League. I thought they had a 15-20-minute period, Brentford, where they looked strong, but I thought Arsenal was superb. I mentioned earlier it was a mature performance. What Arsenal did really well was quiet the crowd. It was really quiet here, and we mentioned before the game that they've got 22 points here, Brentford. So this was a bit of a fortress, so it was difficult for them, but I thought tonight they got outclassed and physically dominated, and the best team won.
And Martin, you were adamant they had to step it up in the second half, which they did, got those 2 goals in 3 minutes, and the first second-half goal from yet another set-piece, number 11 for the season.
Yeah, you wonder, don't you, where it's in the mind of the opponent now, and everybody, it looked very tetchy when the ball went in the box, a good ball in, and it was mayhem all of a sudden, panic. He didn't really clear the ball. Moreno gets on the end of it. Initially, it's aimed for him. He just spins on it. Keeper doesn't do particularly well with it. And then this guy's quickly picked up the theme. Brand new, really, at the club. But it doesn't matter. He knows that he's got that physical presence. And when it lands, he can't really miss from there. But they don't clear the ball. And, it's the quality that Arsenal keep on producing. This time, Waneri putting the ball in. No Saka, but it's another young man who's got that quality. And then it's the same outcome. Another goal. That's 11 now from set plays.
Yeah, such a weapon in their arsenal, shall we say?
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned it there when Aries on the corners. Bukayo usually takes those in swinging corners, and corners are all about the delivery. If the delivery's not right, it caused chaos. And first and second phase, Arsenal were straight onto it. But I'll keep going on about him. But I love young wingers and energy, and he was just brilliant tonight. But the delivery was spot on.
Yeah, very much involved. We'll talk more about Waneri, I'm sure, before we go. But the third goal then came from Martinelli, and how much did he need it?
Yeah, because people ask questions. It was interesting, both the guys who were interviewed at the end of the game, Jesus and Martinelli, they had to answer a few questions tonight, and they need to score goals. And we talked about enjoying the goal, taking your time on the finish. And this one is one of those. where it comes to him, and I think he's got a bit of a while to think about this. But look, he's in no rush, great technique. He doesn't take the leather off it. He doesn't really smash it. He just gets to make sure it's on target, keeps his head down, good technique, and he's buried it. And I think that's a really important goal for him. The floodgates may open for him now. He needs to score more goals. He needs to keep answering those questions, as does Jesus. No Havertz in the group tonight, so really important that they stood up.
It's a good response to any questions about whether he can step up with Saka not being in the side at the moment. Do you think he can get better?
I mean, I've said Arsenal need to go and get another left winger, and a lot of people might say that's pretty harsh on Martinelli, but he might be 23, but he's also played 145 times in the Premier League. So for me now, this is your time. You've got to step up, and particularly with Saka out. And tonight he has. But you have to keep doing that. I mentioned every game now with those games that he's played, and he's experienced. I know he's only 23, but he's experienced. He has to be the guy that creates a goal, score a goal. And he's done that today. He's got to keep doing that. And if he doesn't, I think Arsenal will have to say, look, we've got Saka on the right when he comes back fit. He's our star guy. We've got to have someone else on the other side that gives us the same output. Because we want to win the Premier League. Second, he's not good enough for us. So
exactly
as much as that's harsh from me saying that, but to get to that level, got to have more output, and he
100%.
can, and he needs that push.
And the manager wants that, doesn't he? That's the perfect answer tonight for the manager. And both those players do a lot of unforeseen work, but the cutting edge is scoring the goals at the vital moments. And they've done that tonight. Another game at the weekend, guys. You know, within a few more days, you're back there again.
Another away game.
Another away game. You don't live off that for long. If you want to be champions, you get back and you get on with the job. And I think their focus, that was the important thing, second half. Came out of the box, flew out the block second half. Obviously, the manager was in their ear, just stepped it up. The desire, the determination's all there, but they're up against Liverpool. We know that they're an outstanding unit, as Man City once were. So, just got to keep doing their job, keep winning their matches.
And you've spoken about him already, but Ethan Nwaneri's first Premier League start tonight, Karen. How special do you think he is?
It just makes me smile, because even this positivity, okay, he's gone on the outside there, we know he's left-footed, but I love this. He's just brave, he's bold. Someone so young as well, jinxes it, drops a shoulder, nice tidy there, kept it tidy. Especially in your own half, you have to keep the ball. You can't give the ball away in your own half. This, when you cross the second half, second part of the pitch, go and do what you want. Be positive, be brave, take people on. Okay, 2 times now on the outside, just get that cross right, that crossing situation good. And this here then, obviously overlapping run, good ball in. And this was the goal, and he was keen it. You mentioned the corner, he was mentioned there for Martinelli's goal. Love this little jinx through. Now, at this point now, just pop it off to Ødegaard. That's the next level. Don't give the ball away in that situation now. But for a young man, I thought he was outstanding. He's positive, and he's just a joy to watch. And I can't believe how young he is, and he will be an absolute player for Arsenal.
And there's a whole lot more to come.
Get more opportunities, though, Martin, to show what he can do in 2025 now.
Oh, he's definitely going to get those chances with Saka not being available. He's been using him regularly with Ødegaard now, bringing him off in games. It's all there under the bonnet waiting to come out. This is a really exciting prospect for Arsenal. Another kid out of the academy, Lewis Skelly as well, another one playing a part again tonight. It's really important that you have those players in the team, in the group, demonstrating the quality coming through the academy.
I knew it was going to be a tough match here to start the year, but after going ahead, how did the match get away from you today?
No, I think we did a lot of things right. I think overall it was a good performance. I think first half was extremely good. I really liked the way we played. I thought we were very, very brave on the ball. Created some good opportunities in the phase 1 and got out of the pressure quite easy. And I also think we were brave in the high pressure as well. And I think we defended well low. So overall, I think we did well. It was the fineness of margins that we need to do better. Of course, we score a great goal, and just before the equaliser, it is like this. Then we are 2-0 up. I know it was a mistake from David, but still, it's a small margin, 2-0, different game. But anyway, we need to do better on the 1-1 goal. If we want to beat Arsenal, that are the second best team in the country right now, been that the last 3 seasons, one of the best teams in Europe, we need to do everything right, or close to. And we could have done better in the first one. I think the second one is a corner. They only had 3 corners, so not too much. And I need to look more into it, but again, they're very good at it. And I said it before, I think probably the best team in the world to do that. Is something we need to learn from them. No doubt about that. And then the last one, also think we can do a bit better. So overall, happy with the performance. We played against a top team that just punished us in 3 moments.
With Brentford's away form being what it is and having a game away at Southampton next, how disappointing is it to now have back-to-back home defeats where you have been so strong?
I think that today we play a top team. You can't expect just to beat Arsenal today, but we did very well, so that's just a performance. It happens. Nottingham Forest, I think, was a little bit different. I would love to have more out of that game. So, and away from is just one thing until the next game.
A new year for Brentford will once again see you trying to hold on to some of your key players now that this January transfer window is open. Will one of your biggest tasks being to keep hold of Bryan Mbeumo, who once again showed his quality today?
Bryan was really good. I thought he scored a fantastic goal. Really pleased with that, and I think his performances and quality, he really showed that today. For me, it shouldn't be a problem to hold him.
Thanks, Thomas.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Mikel, congratulations. What could have been a tricky game to start the year, you ensured victory with what was a brilliant start to the second half. What pleased you the most about the overall performance?
Well, we won in a really difficult stadium and against a really good opponent. And you see the record that they have here is incredible. When you go 1-0 down as well, it makes it even harder. But the team showed a lot of composure, a lot of willingness to change the game, a lot of desire to do it in the way we have to do and navigate through difficult moments because it's going to happen.
How key was it to get those 2 goals in the second half in quick succession, the way you did, just to give you that cushion?
Yeah, we started really fast, really aggressive. We were very clinical there and again, adapting. Again, today we had certain injuries, sickness to the team. We have to play all the players. We have Ethan making a debut in the Premier League at 17 years old in this stadium. So, good.
Gabriel Jesus as well scored now 6 goals in 4 games. That's as many as he scored in his previous 48 Arsenal appearances. How key is it that you have him firing?
Yeah, it's very important. We won our front line in the best moment. Today Martinelli scored, Mikel scored in the back of a set piece as well. So, we have to distribute the goals that we have done. When you look in the last calendar year, how many people have scored goals for us, that's our strength.
You mentioned Ethan Nwaneri, just 17 years old. Any team is going to miss a player of Bukayo Saka's quality, but how well did he fill that position today?
Really good. But in training, it gives us all the right reasons. If we would have signed that player from any country, he would be playing. So he's an academy player. He needs to play because he deserves it.
You have another game before Liverpool play next. With the run that they're on, how important does every single match feel to take maximum points in?
Yeah, we can only do what is in our hands, which is to perform as best as we can and win games, and the rest is not anything to do with us.
I think you know what I might ask you next. The January transfer window is open. What are Arsenal's plans?
At the moment is to keep looking after our players, getting the best out of them, and let's see if there is an opportunity, we'll look at it. But at the moment, the focus is our players, that they are really good.
And with a performance like that today from your attacking players, did the likes of Nwaneri, Gabriel Jesus scoring goals now, did that show that perhaps you don't need to dip into the market in those positions?
Depends on the game, depends if we score or not, the narrative. I really like my players. I really value what we have because it's a lot of quality and a lot of commitment from all of them, and we are really good with what we have.
Well done today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mikel Arteta not committing too much on the plans for the January transfer window, Martin. It is open, though. If you could strengthen in just one position, what would it be?
Goodness, it'd probably be in the wide positions, but then you're shutting the door on Nwaneri. So there's some big decisions to make. But, if you don't buy the players for this group, then you're not doing the service that you really want to give them, because you want to give them success, and it might have to come from outside. There's a lot in the group, there's no doubt. But with that injury to Saka, if you imagine Salah gets the equivalent injury at Liverpool, their numbers change massively. So, he may have to go into the market because he's only 17 years of age, this kid. I mean, as well as he's done today, he may want to buy in a wide area with a kind of an inside forward somebody who can play wide and plays down the middle. But everyone would be looking for that type of player. But certainly Arsenal would improve them.
They're 6 behind Liverpool now, Liverpool with that game in hand, of course. But he spoke about only being able to do what they can do, Karen, but they've only lost twice all season. So they've just got to keep up with that level of consistency now.
I think he was spot on. And when we've been listening to Mikel Arteta for the last month or so, he's been really calm. You know, like I said, this is 2 years now they've done these title races. This is their 3rd one now. He knows he's just got to stay in the hunt. He's right. There's nothing he can do. They're behind. They're chasing Liverpool. They've just got to do what they can do. And I think he knows the way he answered. They will be going into January, and they have to. Whether Saka was fit or not, they've got to chase down. And for the last 2 seasons, they've come second with the group. They have to buy more to go to first. So they're the next fixtures, big fixtures ahead of them. It's going to be difficult, busy period. Chopping and changing the squad will be important to keep everyone fit and fresh.
A lot of games. And he made it clear
defining games.
Yeah, defining games. Late in competition, semi-final there. Manchester United again, obviously, what that game brings. And then staying in the race, the league and the Champions League to finish off those 2 extra games that we have now in the Champions League. But he made it very clear there that he loves his players. And he talked about culture on the training pitch. And if you do well in training, you play. And that's rewarding for the youngster tonight. I think that's a big story for him, a big plus for him, that he's almost made a new signing tonight by introducing a player from the academy. That takes some of the pressure off, but I still think they'll go into the market.
Yeah, big performance from him. Karen, Martin, thank you very much for your company. It is a winning start to the new year for Arsenal. We're back on Saturday with some more Premier League football, this time from North London, as Tottenham welcome Newcastle. Join us from 11 o'clock for all the build-up to that one. But the festive celebrations may be over. The good news, though, there is definitely plenty of Premier League drama to come.